engine crisis is creating a risk of bankruptcy. Hello guys, this is Unlimited SpaceX, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at the risk of bankruptcy that may occur due to the Starship engine crisis. This information was published on Tuesday, November 30th, 2021, and if you missed it by any chance, I'm here to give you all the necessary information that you need. Before we get to the details that you're all here for, I should give a little introduction about what the SpaceX Starship is. The Starship is a fully reusable launch vehicle under development by American aerospace company SpaceX, with the ultimate purpose of enabling Mars exploration and colonization. The stainless steel rocket is the largest and most powerful constructed so far. It consists of a super heavy booster stage and a Starship spacecraft powered by Raptor rocket engines that burn liquid energy and liquid methane propellant. If you don't already know, SpaceX was founded by Elon Musk, who has a major goal of colonizing Mars. SpaceX is a private American company independent of the United States military and NASA. Moving on to the main news, Elon Musk wrote in an anxious email sent out on Black Friday to his company's employees, SpaceX will need all hands on deck to recover from what is, quite frankly, a disaster. This came about when Elon Musk described a dire situation with SpaceX's development of Raptor rocket engines for the Starship the day after Thanksgiving in a company-wide email. Elon Musk also wrote, "The Raptor production crisis is much worse than it seemed a few weeks ago." Elon Musk thinks SpaceX needs to ramp up production of its next-generation Raptor engines soon, or face potentially dire consequences. If you don't know what the Raptors do, the Raptors are supposed to power the Starship, the huge, fully reusable vehicle that SpaceX is developing to take people and cargo to the Moon, Mars, and other distant destinations. Each Starship will need a lot of Raptors, say about 33 for the giant first-stage booster called Super Heavy, and 6 for the upper stage spacecraft known as Starship. In April 2021, NASA awarded SpaceX a $2.9 billion contract to develop Starship as a lunar lander to transport astronauts to the Moon's surface as early as 2025. SpaceX has been hard at work developing and testing Starship prototypes at the company's test site in Boca Chica, Texas, though the company has yet to launch the vehicle into orbit. SpaceX wants to operate a large fleet of Starships in the coming years. Indeed, perhaps 1,000 of the vehicles will be needed to colonize Mars, one of Elon Musk's long-held dreams, the billionaire entrepreneur said this early November 2021 at the joint fall meeting of the Space Studies Board and the Board on Physics and Astronomy, both which are part of the United States National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. SpaceX is currently hoping to conduct Starship's first orbital launch in either January or February of 2022, according to a presentation given by Elon Musk to the National Academies of Sciences on November 17th. However, according to Elon Musk's email, SpaceX needs to launch Starship at least once every 2 weeks next year to keep the company afloat. And apparently, Raptor engine development is not on track at the moment. Now that seems like a really bad situation, as this will lead to more problems in the future. In the email that was first reported by Space Explorer and CNBC, Musk claimed that after key senior management departed from the company, SpaceX personnel looked deeper into the issues surrounding Raptor production and found them to be far more severe than what was reported. 2 vice presidents, one of whom worked on Raptor engine development, recently left the company. Elon Musk's email provides more context to the significance of the departure of the former vice president of propulsion, Will Heltsley, in early November. Apparently, former Vice President Will Heltsley had been taken off the Raptor development project before leaving. Elon Musk noted in his email that the company's leadership has been digging into the program's problems since then. Elon Musk wrote in the email saying, "I was going to take this weekend off, as my first weekend off in a long time, but instead I'll be on the Raptor line all night and through the weekend." He also urged employees to come in for a all-hands-on-deck situation, saying, "Unless you have critical family matters or cannot physically return to Hawthorne, the location of SpaceX's headquarters in California, we will need all hands on deck to recover from what is, quite frankly, a disaster." While Starship will ultimately be used to transport people to deep space, Elon Musk also stressed that vehicles role in launching the company's next-generation Starlink satellites. Starlink is SpaceX's ambitious initiative to launch a mega constellation of nearly 12,000 satellites to provide broadband internet coverage to users all over the Earth. So far, SpaceX has launched more than 1,800 Starlink satellites and is currently serving roughly 140,000 users in more than 20 countries, according to a presentation SpaceX gave to the Federal Communication Commission on November 10th. However, SpaceX has only launched the first version of its Starlink satellites, known as version 1 or V1. Most of those satellites do not have lasers, allowing them to communicate with one another, though recent launches have also included this capability. Eventually, SpaceX plans to launch its version 2 or V2 satellites, which are much more massive and include laser communication. As per his email, Elon Musk claims that Starship is the only rocket that can launch these larger satellites. This means that one of the consequences for SpaceX is they can't get enough reliable Raptors made, that they won't be able to fly Starship, which means they then cannot fly the Starlink satellite V2. Elon Musk wrote, "Falcon has neither the volume nor the mass to orbit needed for satellite V2. He also added, "Satellite V1 by itself is financially weak, whereas satellite V2 is strong." In August, SpaceX filed an amendment with the Federal Communication Commission, proposing changes to its satellites with plans to launch them on Starship. In the email, Elon Musk also noted that SpaceX would be ramping up production of its user dishes, which customers must buy to tap into the Starlink V2 satellites. Elon Musk says the terminals will be useless unless the new satellites are ready to handle the bandwidth demand. Elon Musk closed out the email with a dire message saying, "What it comes down to is that we face a genuine risk of bankruptcy if we can't achieve a Starship flight rate of at least once every 2 weeks in 2022. Attempts have been made to get a comment from SpaceX, but they have not been successful. However, Elon Musk responded to the Raptor issues on Twitter saying, "It is getting fixed." This email packed with a lot of unease came of all times over Thanksgiving weekend, a time people are trying to spend with their families and are instead being called back to work to Hawthorne to address the Raptor production issues. This also comes as SpaceX has been viewed as wildly successful from the outside. The company recently passed a $100 billion valuation, took its Starlink program out of beta, and is back working with NASA on the Starship lunar lander, as Blue Origin's lawsuit has concluded. Starship is essential to SpaceX's future. While Falcon 9 is the company's current workhorse and has been wildly successful, the move to a fully reusable rocket will allow SpaceX to launch even more payloads at a lower cost if it can see success. The Starship test program happens to be out in the open, where onlookers can see the company's successes and failures. It's not like you can launch a rocket in your basement, right? The exploding earlier prototypes drew a lot of attention before the successful flight of SN-15, but the company has a long way to go before it has a successful orbital test, let alone a solid production schedule for Starship. It's hard to know for sure if SpaceX is truly in dire straits. SpaceX did not respond to a request for comment from multiple news agencies. However, Elon Musk later said in response to the email's coverage that bankruptcy is unlikely but not impossible if a severe global recession hits. Seems like they're going to be fine to me though. Apparently this isn't the first time Elon Musk has called all his employees to rally and work long hours or risk bankruptcy. In 2018, Elon Musk claimed that his other company, Tesla, came within single-digit weeks of collapse over problems with the production of the Model 3. Since then, Tesla has rebounded and recently surpassed a $1 trillion valuation. And that brings us to the end of the video. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel and get more updates on new videos as soon as they're released. Stay safe and see you all later. Bye!